But let's go to the Gonzaga side of this a little more, because I feel like, I don't want to be the show that we have to talk Kentucky, right? Because of the drama that is the frustrations of that fan base with John Calipari right now, and they're Kentucky. But Gonzaga they're Gonzaga too at the same time. So I don't want to just talk about the loss and the negatives from this game, because I thought Gonzaga was pretty damn good. But looking through the box score, the thing that I guess surprised me the most, which I don't feel like I noticed watching the game in real time, was as far as scoring goes, they didn't really need anything from their point guards tonight, from Nolan Hickman, from Hunter Salas. And I wouldn't call Malachi Smith a point guard the way they use him, but he's kind of that third guy in the three-headed monster that is the Gonzaga backcourt. 10 combined points from those three guys tonight. And I think, oddly, watching it and reading that back, like, that kind of bodes well for me, because my biggest question with Gonzaga through their struggles early in the season has been, can Hickman pick it up a little bit? Or is someone else going to have to emerge? Or, man, they really miss Andrew Nembhard and just how steady and solid he was. So am I crazy for that, Matt? Let's go to you on this. Like, does this bode well for Gonzaga that maybe they don't need their point guards to score and everybody else can chip in there?
Greg, I just still think it's so early for all these teams. And you look at who Gonzaga's played, right? They go on an aircraft carrier. They play Michigan State. They win by 1. They travel to Texas. They don't play their best brand of basketball. They lose. They get blown out of Texas. And then so their last 3 games are Michigan State outside on an aircraft carrier, at Texas, and Kentucky at home, right? So I still think everyone at this point in the year, and this is why I give these coaches credit for playing these games. They started the season off, they played North Florida, but they have really challenged themselves because everybody's still trying to figure it out. You're still trying to find your identity, what works, what combinations work, and rotations and different things like that. And Mark Few's a Hall of Fame coach, but still, you're 4 games into the season and you're still trying to figure that out. So I just think it's too early to say that. The last Field of 68 I was on, I thought that Malachi Smith, just doing what he did at Chattanooga, the year that he had, the big shots that he made, and I know it was the Southern Conference, but still he did it in big games and played in the NCAA tournament. I thought that he was a bit of an X factor. He's a guy right now that's in a different role, right? I mean, you're the man there. You're getting the shots. You're SoCon Player of the Year, and now he's in a role that he's coming off the bench. So I just think everybody's still trying to figure it out, and I think it's a little bit too early to say, hey, they can win this way, they can win that way, whatever it may be. I just think it's really too early in the season for that.
Yeah, they can win a lot of ways, right? RC.
Yeah.
I think to summarize that,
I think
this
that's
is
the
one team
tease of this team. I mean, what you talked about, I was a big Malachi Smith fan, and I'm shocked that they're going to have to get some production from their bench, though, because it's not just Malachi Smith we're talking about. We talked about Hunter Salas, but we also talk about Efton Reed. He's a big, a 5-star kid coming in that was obviously went to LSU, and then he's here now. I thought he's groomed to be the next guy kind of when Timmy left, but he's also skilled enough to contribute on this team. And right now he's not playing, and they're not getting any production. I think tonight they got 8 points from their bench. And as they get playing these games, like they got Baylor coming up, they have Alabama coming up. When they get through conference, they can get away with that. So hopefully as they get through conference, they can get some confidence in these younger guys that they're going to need if they want to make a run in Houston.
Yeah, I think, Greg, too, like the biggest issue for them right now is turnovers.
Yes.
Going into the game, it was they had 40 assists and 52 turnovers on the year, and then throw in another 18 tonight. I mean, that's 60 turnovers through 4 games. They've got to get that rectified somehow, right? I mean, that's a lot of turnovers through 4 games.
Yeah, it's a ton. I noticed it very early in this game. I think Gonzaga jumped out. They were up 10 pretty early, like maybe first TV timeout, up 10. And the graphic comes on screen, 5 Gonzaga turnovers already to 0 for Kentucky. And I marked that down just like, okay, this is either going to be a moment in this game that we look back and realize, oh, this is what did Gonzaga in and kept this a close game, or Kentucky just didn't have it tonight, and Gonzaga won in spite of that. It turned out to be the second, but you guys are absolutely right. That's something to watch with this team going forward, especially with just, how many good guards are on that team, right? And I think Nembhard last year was a guy who you were comfortable sort of giving him the keys. And obviously you've got Timmy in the front court anchoring too, who you feel comfortable with the ball in his hands so much. But that's the thing is if the ball's in a lot of different dudes' hands, it might be one guy any given night who's taking care of it well, or who's super turnover prone. But when you add it all together, I don't think you can reach the threshold.
But that's what's going on with them right now. Everybody's turning it over.
Right.
It isn't just one guy. It's everybody. You got two. I got two. Next guy got three. Somebody's got four. Everybody's turning the basketball over. They're just not. They're playing loose. They're playing free. You want to share the ball, but right now, everybody in that roster is turning it over, and they got to find some stability in it, and that'll be something that comes along.
Yeah, for sure. All right, up next for Gonzaga is the Phil Knight Legacy event. So we will see some more high-level basketball games featuring Gonzaga. And then, as you mentioned, RC, they've got Baylor December 2nd. I cannot wait to see that game.